Hi everyone, this is the National Master Alessandro Santagati, and in this video we'll see again that I played against the International Master Quintiliano Pinto Renato from Brazil. I played this game in the International Tournament of Cappelle La Grande, and I played as black, so he played e4 and I played e6, so French defense, and d4, d5, knight c3, knight c6. I like playing this variation as black, and it's fine. And he played e5. I think it's a good choice for white this because when white blocked the center, now it's not so easy to play for black. The black has to pay attention about how the pieces. So e5 is very nice for white. I played the knight ge7. My idea is bring my knight to f5 and the bishop probably to b4. Bring the bishop to e7 is not so good now because often the white can play g4 and then you don't have a good square for the knight. So usually in this kind of position it can be fine, have the square e7 free to allow that the knight can go back in the future. So now knight f3 and knight f5 and now h4. Quintiliano played a very nice move. Now h4 is nice for two reasons, because the first is that is blocking the square h4, so now my knight can go here, and the second is because this pawn can help to make pressure and to weaken the dark squares, so it's a very nice plan for white. And I played bishop b4 because I said, yeah, I know his idea is play g4, but at the same time when he will play g4 his king side will be weak, and if I weaken also the queen side, maybe in the future the white can have problem about where castle, and the bishop b4, so it's nice for this reason. And now I played h5, and I played bishop d7. I played it because for this time I think it's not so good push immediately h6, because I can simply take with the knight, and it can weaken the dark squares, but it's also true that without the dark bishop it will be hard to exploit it. Especially because I can go back with my bishop, I can bring my queen to e7 and I can castle, so I can have an easy game in this case. And for this reason he didn't play it, and he played a3. Okay, after a3 my move is easy. I have to take the knight to weaken his structure, and after that my idea would be open the center, because yes, I said probably you can have problem to castle on the king side, you can have problem to castle on the queen side, but in theory you can stay with the king on the center. So now my next step would be open the center and give problem about the enemy king. Okay, so he played h6. So sorry, I played h6 to avoid the push h6 now, because okay, before I said not problem, but now it's a problem because without my bishop in the game, if he plays h6, the weakness in the dark squares can be important. So I played h6 to avoid the push, and now bishop d3, and I played that is important, trying to understand what the play with black, because the question is, where can I castle? King side, queen side? Would you castle on the king side? It's not so good, because if you castle on the queen side, there is g4, g5, and the attack. There is an immediate attack, so it's not so good castle on the king side. Okay, so okay, castle king side maybe is wrong. Okay, I would castle on the queen side, but how do that? Where bring my queen? Can I h4? No, okay, I lose the queen, g5 I lose the queen, f6 the same thing. Maybe 7? No, because if e7, white push g4, now my knight is lost. For this reason, before I said to free the square e7 for the knight, because it can be a very important threat this. Well, so my problem is the queen, my problem is castle, my problem is open the center. For this reason I played knight a5. This move is nice because I can push c5, and then I can bring my queen to b6, and then I can castle. So knight a5 is nice, very important move for me this. You play g4, I have to go back with my knight to e7. Now g5, he goes forward with his attack, very dangerous. But now I go forward with my plan, open the center, and I play c5. Yeah, in theory, he could take the pawn, but 3 pawns in the same file is not so good usually, and I can simply play queen c7, castle, and it's impossible to defend all the pawns, so it's not good for white. So after c5 we played knight h4 to go forward with his attack. The idea is take the square g6 to push. And now I go forward with my idea, queen b6. Now I think he made a mistake because the right idea for white is play g takes h6, g takes, and play in the future against the weakness h6 and play for the open file g. He played g6, and I think it's an important mistake because after g6 I can simply play rook f8, I can block his attack, and I can play in the f file, and now the f file open is fine for me. He played g takes, rook takes, and now queen g4. Now I can play castle. Now my king is safe, but now we're blinking the white king. I can open immediately the center, and probably he played correctly. He played castle kingside. Yeah, it seems bad, but no other plays in which the white can bring his king, so castle kingside maybe is fine for this time. And now another important strategical point, because okay, my position now is fine, my king is safe, the white has some problems, but how go forward? Because in the future the white can play bishop e3, rook b1, and can make pressure against my queen side. Now I need to improve my position, and to do that I played knight c6, because my idea is simple. The knight on a5 is not so good, it's away. So I bring my knight on the center and make pressure against the pawn. And now the white to defend this pawn, so I played bishop e3 and I played queen a5. Again, the queen on b6 is not good because in the future it's possible rook b1 and my queen can have a problem. With queen a5 I simply attack a pawn and I improve my position. So knight f3, because if I take now I lose the queen, bishop d2, queen b2, and now rook b1. So it's bad for me taking the pawn now. So the white tried to defend the pawn this way, and now I play rook d8. I attack the knight 2 times, and he played knight d2. I played queen a4. Probably it's not the best move. Probably I can't simply take the pawn. I was scared about rook b1, but probably it's not so good because there is c takes d4 and my position is very strong. Yeah, I missed this move, queen takes e3, and I played queen a4. The idea is make pressure against d4 and c2, and at the same time the queen is without defender, so this pawn is pinned. And so queen a4 is interesting, but queen takes e3 was better. Okay, so now we played f3 to defend the queen. Now I played knight f5. The idea is make pressure against the bishop, make pressure against the pawn, and force the white to give this strong bishop. The square b5 is dangerous, rook b1, square b5, so I was scared about that, and I think it's good that, just to take. And now knight b3 is threatening c5. To be honest, I was scared about that, and I played b6, but then I saw that the best way to play is play c4, because after knight c5 I can simply take c2, and I break the enemy pawn structure, and queen takes g7 is not dangerous because I can simply play rook f7, and at the end I can play in the future b6, I can take c3, so my position is very strong after that. But I didn't see all this in the game, and I played b6 because I calculated that I could take a very easy game in which my position was better. So I calculated that in this way I can have a easy position in which my endgame is slightly better, so I can play for win, or maybe if I play bad and if he play very well I can draw. So it was my idea, and he played d takes e5, so I traded all the pieces. And now there is a very important key move that I saw when I started the calculation, knight takes e5. Knight takes e5 is very strong because if you play in a game, it's very important to have pass pawns, and if I take e5, in theory white can simply play bishop f4, And now this position is blocked. I think it's very hard to win it, and I think probably it will be a draw. So take the pawn c5 is a mistake, but take the pawn e5 is very strong, because now my pawn e is passed. Now I can take g4, and if I can take h5, I will have 3 passed pawns, and now I have a good chance to win this game. It was scared about that, and they played c takes b6, and now g5 to avoid that, to trade the pawns on the king side. But now there is knight c4 very strong, and after knight c4, the bishop is under attack. So, and the pawn is under attack. So a lot of problems. He took the pawn. I take the bishop with check, king e2, the only move, and now I have to take the pawn, because yes, I could happy to save the knight, but there is a7 and I lose the game, so it doesn't work. Okay, well, so I took the pawn, take, and now bishop e8. And simply I take the pawn, and now I have 2 passed pawns, knight e4. I have to defend this e6, and now knight f3. I take the pawn, knight e5, and at this time I played king d6, king d4, and in this position I missed a very important move in this endgame. I missed the very strong move b5. b5 is winning immediately, because I block all the pawns, I block all the pieces, and white is without moves. For example, if knight d3, I can simply play bishop d1, I attack c2, then I can push h5, and it's very easy win this game for me. Because if the king will go to stop this pawn, my king can go to take c3, and easy victory for black in this case. So I missed b5, so I made a very important mistake here, because I missed b5, so I missed it and I played a very important mistake, bishop d1. And in this game, after bishop d1, if white play well, white can take a draw, because I played this because I thought that knight f7, knight x6 is wrong, because I can take the knight. Yes, it's sure. I will take the knight, but the problem is that I don't win the game, because the white has the time to take all the pawns, and then the game will be a draw. So the right move to play now is knight f7 check, king e7, knight takes, king f6, check. And the other hand, what happened? I play king g7, but the white has the time to take all the pawns, and it will be a draw. Because okay, I can take the knight, he could take it, maybe I can try to take the pawn, c2, he could take it, and the other hand, I don't have enough moves to bring my king into the game, and the white can take the last pawn, and for this reason it will be a draw. So for example, I don't know, bishop a4, c4, then I can bring my king, but c5, and I have to trade, because if I don't trade, this pawn go to promotion, and it's a draw for sure. So yes, I missed this, because yes, I'm right when I say okay, I can take the knight. I'm wrong when I think that I can win the game. So take the knight is not the something that win the game, so it's different. Okay, perfect. So I played bishop d1, but he didn't see this opportunity, and he played c4, and I was happy about that, because I can play h5, c takes d5, e takes d5, and now c4. His strategy is correct. Try to trade more pawns that you can, because less pawns there are in the game, and more can be easier find a draw. So I played d takes c4, knight takes, and king c6. But I think this endgame is one for black, because it's hard to stop the pawn h, and he played king c3. Now I played bishop f3, and now knight c4, and there is an immediate threat, the 4 to e5, and I played bishop d5. After that, he played check, king d6, and knight g6. Okay, my easy strategy is push this pawn, and to do that, I need to attack the knight, so I played bishop e4. After that, knight f4, now I can push, king d4. Maybe now is push h3, so I need the bishop to do that, and I played bishop f5. Now knight d5, I push it. You need to block my pawn, so force the knight d3. I cannot push because there is the bishop under attack with the check, so I played bishop e6. And now knight f1 to block the push h2, so important move for white. And I'll play the king c6 because I can play also for this pawn. So knight a2, knight h2, king b5, and now king c3. My idea is bring my bishop to e2 because e2 is a key square because I can block the enemy knight. So it's very important for me. So I played bishop f5. Now king d4, bishop e2, king c3, king c5. Because I can play east for this pawn and east to bring my king here and win. So it's very important. So now king e5, king d2, sorry, and now bishop a6, king c3, king d5. Now it's very important to have this bishop here because can help my king to go in the side. And he played knight here, bishop e2 again, and now king e4, king back, bishop to a6 again, and after king e1 I played king e3 and he resigns because no moves for white to do something because my king can go to attack the knight. Oh sorry, I don't know if this, for example, I can go with my king to f2 and then game is one for me. If the white play, I don't know, e4, I can exploit the good one because now the white is without moves and I will win without problem. So I don't know, if this I take the knight and I will take all the pieces. If this, if knight f1, I can simply trade and I can simply go to take this pawn and I win for sure. Okay, for this video is all. I think it was a very interesting game. Thank you for the attention. I'll see you for the next. Bye. Remember to follow me on social networks and share the video with your friends. Thanks.